Hi everyone, this is Claudine Helmuth and I'm excited to share with you today my Halloween Party Birds printable kit. So these are the birds. They come in orange, purple, and black, and they all come with cute little party hats that you can mix and match. In this video, I'm going to share with you a few little quick tips to assemble the birds, and they will look so darling with the rest of your Halloween decorations. Now, when you download and print out the kit, you're going to get all the pages. You're going to get a page for orange bird, black bird, and purple bird. And all of the pages look the same except for the birds and the hats are different colors. So we're going to be assembling today the orange bird. And what we want to do to get started is we want to cut around the entire perimeter of the bird, the wings, and you could choose whatever beak, an orange beak or a black beak. I think on the orange bird, the black beak looks best. Now, I want to just point out to you some other intricate cut lines. Here you can see there are these red lines here and all over here and going in. All of the solid red lines you will want to cut with a craft knife. I'm going to point those out again after I've cut this out. Now that it's all cut out, we need to cut in on all of the red solid lines to form tabs. And you can tell where the little red lines are because there's also letters to indicate the tabs. You also want to cut out this little diamond shape for the beak. And on the beak, there are solid lines coming in here, and you're also going to want to cut in on those. I'm using just a craft knife with a cutting mat underneath it, and you just want to be careful and very carefully cut all of these lines. Now we need to score all of these little dotted lines. I'm working on a heavier weight paper. This is Staples Photo Matte paper. I actually recommend, if this is the first time that you're putting the birds together, to just work on a printer weight paper. Actually, the lighter the paper it is, the easier it is to bend and fold. The heavier the paper, it tries to resist going into the bird shape a little bit, so you need to use a little bit of a stronger adhesive. To score the dotted lines, and you really only need to score if you're working on the heavier weight paper, I work on a legal pad to provide some cushion, and I have a pen with no ink in it. And I'm not even going to use a ruler because these are small dotted lines and they go in various curves. So I'm just going to take my pen with no ink in it and follow all of the dotted lines by pressing down, and then that will make a nice score line. So I'm going to do that on the bird as well as the beak. So once they're all scored and folded, first I'm going to put together the beak. So I'm going to fold here on all of the dotted line, and this tab A and B here is going to fit around here so that it makes a beak, and then all of these tabs are going to go up. I'm just going to use my tape gun. You could use a tiny piece of double stick tape. I've also found that a wonderful glue for paper that dries super quick is the Glossy Accents by Ranger. And it dries fast enough that it doesn't make the inkjet ink bleed. So now I've got my little beak there, and I'm going to fold all of these tabs up so that it looks like that, and we'll set that aside. Then on my bird, we're going to fold along all of the dotted lines that we scored just to get them ready for shaping the bird. And while you're folding, you can also kind of come in and pinch any sharp corners and just kind of make sure you've got it all folded nicely. Then what I like to do is warm the paper up a little bit and kind of bend it in the direction that it's going to end up going, so that way it will bend easier and it won't resist as much. This is just for the heavier weight paper. If you're working on a lightweight paper, you don't even have to worry about this step. And now it's ready for adhesive. And I've got a little trick for the adhesive that I'm going to share with you. So I'm using this advanced tape gun. You could use double stick tape. You could also use a glue, or a glue stick works really only if you are using the lighter weight paper. First, I'm going to apply tape to tabs BB A, A, and B. Then I'm going to flip over my bird and I am going to apply tape along all of these seams. First, I'm going to apply a little bit of tape around the beak area, and then I'm going to apply it so that it goes all the way down here, and I'm not going to worry that it's kind of over sticking both of the areas. I'm going to also do here and here, and I'll point out all of the areas that I taped when I'm finished. So here are all the areas that I've taped, and it looks like a real mess back here, but don't worry, it's not going to show. It's all on the back, and this is so much easier than applying glue or tape to all of these little tiny tabs. So I've gone all over here, around here, and there, and all of this piece, and there. And you're going to see how that's all going to fit together. Then I took my pen and just punched out that there was a little bit of excess adhesive there. I'm going to take my beak at this point and push it through the little diamond hole, and you can see it coming through the other side. This is where he really starts to get his little personality. And I'm just pressing those beak tabs into the adhesive. Now I'm going to start assembling the head. And because I applied adhesive that kind of overlaps, sometimes you have to kind of unstick it, but that's okay. It still works fine. And I just roll back any excess adhesive in there. And I'm going to start, you can start with either side of the head. So I'm going to start here, and you just start lining up the tabs like that. And then I switch to the other side. So I just go back and forth. So this is tab DD and then CC, and just get those lined up, and then press on the inside to make sure you have good adhesion. And then I'm going to start with the top of the head. And for this part, you want to kind of bend it in a shape like this so that it matches up with the shape, with this shape of the head. You'll kind of get a feel for it. So tabs KK and MN, and then that one. And see, you can see how that matches up. And then we're just going to press down. And same thing on this side with tab HH going there and like that. And then pressing from the inside. You can see he's really starting to look cute. And you can use your thumbs to press those seams down so they have really good adhesion. Now at this point, I like to start assembling the side of the bird. So I'm going to take this big flap and start pressing it in to here, which is tab S, T, and U. And then you can see there how that makes a nice little shape. And then tab V, W, X, Y, and Z. And you just want to press there. And then you're going to circle this around a little bit so that tab Z goes there and Y goes there. And don't worry if some of your letters show just a little bit there. We're going to be placing wings over that. So that's the one side, looking really cute. You can see it coming together. And then you're going to repeat on the other side with tab HIJ and this big flap like that. And then tab C through G. So we'll just flip that up. And you have to kind of keep moving the bird around so that you're comfortable, and tab D and C you can see fit in nicely there. And then just keep pressing from the inside to make sure you're getting good adhesion and that it's not unsticking. So now we can do the bottom of the bird with tab R, Q, P, O. And we're just going to round that around like that. And then we're going to take the tail and line it up here to tabs A and A. And you can press in right here with that tab to make sure that that's getting nicely stuck down. And then repeat with the other side. So now that you have the bottom all worked out, it's time to finish the top. And at this time, if you want to, you could reach a pen in to make sure that you've got good adhesion with all your tabs. And then what I do is I just kind of squeeze the bird on either side, and then these tabs line up really nicely there, and you can press those down. And then you want to add a little bit of adhesive here, and then you just close that to hold the little tail together. And you could trim off any white parts. So our bird is almost done. We just need to add the wings. And for that, super simple, just add a little bit of tape and then position the wing where you want it. I like it just above this little line there, and then repeat on the other side. Now, if you're a perfectionist like me and you don't like a little bit of the white paper showing through, you can take a chalk pastel or a colored pencil and just gently go over those seam lines. If you use a lighter weight paper, that won't be as noticeable. It's just from the thickness of the paper. So now we can leave our little Halloween bird like that, or we can add the party hat. So here's how to add the party hat. It's all cut out, and I've already added adhesive to the tab. I take my pen and just roll the hat around it to get the paper sort of going in that cone shape. And then you're just going to match up the tab to the other side so it will be flat at the bottom. And if you're on a heavier weight paper, this part can be a little tricky because it's a teeny weeny little hat, but just take your time with it. Just take a second. And there we go. So then there's the cute little hat. And to add the hat, what I do is I take a little tiny bead of wet glue. I'm using the glossy accents because this dries really quickly and it won't bleed on the inkjet ink. So I'm just going to go around the edge of the hat. So you can see there. And then I'm just going to find a nice little position for it on his head and press down. And you can see it's secure on there very quickly. So here he is with the rest of his friends. They've got their party hats on. They're ready to party. These are a fun little whimsical addition to any Halloween decor.